Good morning. I've spent the last couple days on the internet having some pretty testy word exchanges with some people who appear to disagree with the idea that electric cars and solar panels and renewables and so forth are a better path forward for us. And so I wanted to make this video to see if I could clarify my thoughts on the whole thing for you. And this isn't the first time I've run into this argument. Now this time these people weren't claiming they were with the near-term human extinction groups, but when I went and looked at one of the guy's profiles, sure enough, he had some associations with him, which I have also, so I don't hold that against them. But my opinion on what ought to be done is different than theirs. But their basic argument seems to be that we should get rid of cars, we should get rid of roads, and I don't know what. It's always unspecified. They'll argue with you, for example, that it takes more energy to make an electric car, and so the life cycle costing, the total energy to make the car and the total energy the car uses during its lifetime is irrelevant. And that's not true. The latest figures I've seen on this is that we might produce about 20% more CO2 making an electric car than a regular car right now. But that within the first year of its operation, the electric car will more than make up for that. And of course, it all depends on where you get your electricity from. I've never maintained that just producing electric cars will solve all of our problems, or the solar panels and wind turbines will solve all of our problems. All I'm maintaining is that it's part of a solution. Renewables are more clean in producing energy, and by the very fact that they are renewables, you don't have to dig up a one-time resource and burn it and put CO2 into the atmosphere while you're producing the energy. So you may produce some CO2 while you're building the devices. That's a given. Anyway, I just think it's a way forward. I don't think it's a total solution. I think a lot of the problems that we have stem from population overshoot. There's probably about 10 times as many people as there should be on the planet. And until we address overpopulation, or until it is addressed, all of our best efforts are going to come to naught. So I've never been arguing from a standpoint that electric cars and solar panels and wind turbines are the only solution. It's a panacea. It's a way forward. We'll be in utopia if we do all these things. But I think they are better than what we are currently doing, which is digging up 200 million year old carbon and then releasing it back to the atmosphere. And I think history is going to be on my side. I think within the next 8 years, you're going to see a revolution in ground transport, a shift to electric drive. It's just that simple, and I think these people railing against it might as well be King Canute sitting on his throne at the seashore trying to command the waves, not to come in. And so I asked him, I says, so you want to get rid of roads and cars and all the infrastructure that supports ground transport? And I said, then what? And they don't seem to have any solution they're going to offer. And all I've been maintaining all along is if you're going to build cars, we're better off if we build electric cars than we are if we continue to build internal combustion engine cars. But all this is really out of our control. There's a worldwide marketplace for this stuff, and it's shifting over to electric drive. And it's going to happen regardless of what people think or want. Now, we do need more public transport. We need a better, especially in this country, we need a better rail system for transporting people across the country. And these other ideas about hyperloops and so forth, I don't know that much about them. I'm not against them, but I'd like to see progress in getting away from fossil fuels. And my only contention has been to people that if you don't like global warming and you're upset about it, and you don't like oil spills, you're upset about the oil companies and all this, you can complain all you want. But if you're going down to the gas station and buying gasoline for your vehicle, then you're supporting all this. And it just doesn't do any good to complain. And up till a few years ago, we really didn't have any alternatives, but now we are starting to have alternatives, and we should embrace them. Electric drive is over 3 times more energy efficient than driving a car per mile. And that's the bottom line. And once people discover you can buy an electric car and your operating costs are far cheaper. And also your repair costs. They're estimating now that 60% of the aftermarket repair industry will disappear with electric drive. And it's possible to buy an electric car and have it last for 1 million miles easily. Because they're so simple. There's only 3 moving parts in an electric motor instead of 1,000 as in an internal combustion engine. So all these arguments, I'm just not clear on where people are coming from. I don't know what they expect us to do. I think we have to have instrumentality. We have to be able to get from point A to point B, and the way we're set up now, we have roads, we have a giant infrastructure that's invested in it, we have a giant infrastructure that's invested in digging up oil and producing internal combustion engine cars and trucks. And that's not going to go away. At least not immediately. It's going to take years, decades probably. But I think within the next 8 years, you're going to see a giant impact on it due to the evolution of the electric car. Once they reach parity with regular cars, as far as cost to buy, and they're so much cheaper to operate, and they're so much better, that people are going to start flocking to them. Right now, it's just we're in an initial rise of the marketplace. But once more and more people own them, you're going to have more and more people looking to buy them. It's just going to be the same phenomenon we went through with a cell phone. I can remember back in the late 1990s seeing all these people on the university campus walking around with their damn cell phones up their ears. I said, what the hell is that? What's wrong with these people? And here we are 20 years later, and almost all of us own cell phones, and landlines are gone. And that's the way it's going to be. It's going to come a day, 8, 10, 15 years down the road, when if you buy an internal combustion engine car, it's going to be because you're someone who's a hobbyist or something, and finding someone to repair it, and finding someone to buy parts for it, to repair it and maintain it, and buying gasoline is going to be difficult. Just like it now, if you want a landline, you can still get one, but it's difficult. And it ain't worth the trouble. Unless you're just nostalgic, you know. You want an old circa 1920 phone that you hanging on the wall that you can go over and call an operator on or something. Guess they'd have to have a dial at least. I don't know. But anyway, that's off the point. So, that's the crux of this whole issue. My point is that we are where we are now, and there's a path forward. And We're not going to magically transform our ground transport system into something that excludes cars. At least we're not going to do it overnight. And I don't know what these people expect. We all going to have flying carpets or 7-league boots, or just what is it they want? As I accused them, they'd complain if they were being hung with a new rope. And I'm not trying to suppress anyone's ideas. I think there are other solutions to ground transport. One of the ones I'm fascinated with, and I want to get one someday, is just an electric bicycle. Because the watts per mile with an electric bicycle is far, far less than a 4,000-pound automobile. But unfortunately, I live way out in the country, so the uses for an electric bike are a bit more circumscribed. But I could use the exercise pedaling one a little bit too, so. And it would be a great alternative, especially when you travel and go camping and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm a little jaundiced. I live in southern New Mexico. I live 20 miles from town. That's all I got. I don't have a bus appearing at my mailbox. I don't have a commuter rail. I don't have any of this stuff. We just have cars. So I'm just gratified there's an alternative out there, and it's called the electric car. In our case, it's a PHEV. It's a plug-in hybrid electric car with 20 miles of range, and it's a Ford C-Max Energy. And I was astonished to find that 20 miles of range could do 60% of my driving. So, and 30 miles of range would probably do about 80% of my driving. So this is definitely a way forward. And right now I'm getting 60 miles per gallon easily with 20 miles of range. And if I had 30 miles of range, I could be at least getting 80 miles per gallon probably. And that's real, all energy sources, not just hypothetical, just on gasoline alone or any of that nonsense. So I'm interested in talking to people about these issues, but I just don't understand where some people are coming from. There's just a lack of clarity of thought. It's like a disease in the public mind. We need solutions. We need real solutions we can go out in the marketplace and get. And until the world changes completely overnight, with their pod snap flourishes, and all of a sudden all cars disappear, all roads disappear, and little flying pods come around and pick everybody up. We are where we are, and we need instrumentality to get around, and I just don't think they're being reasonable. I hear their arguments. I understand where they're coming from. And again, I don't look at electric drive and solar panels and wind turbines as the ultimate solution to all of our problems right now. But they are an improvement, they're a way forward, and we need to stop this carping about magical solutions that don't even exist, and they can't tell you what they are. So I'm going to let it go here, stop this, and I'm going to publish this under electric cars or magic carpets. Bye, everybody.